connected. We're connected to the channel 5 wireless, and you can see right here that there's a little security thing right next to it, how the channel 5, the Chautauqua Lake, the AMX, which is one next door, all has little things there. That means if I were to click here on Chautauqua Lake, it's going to ask me for a passcode. Which means you either know the passcode or you can't get in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're just going to click on this Belkin 54G, and depending on where you are, you might have multiple of these. If you're living in, you know, the city or something, if you have, you know, more than one of these around and everybody set it to default, then you have more of a problem of trying to figure out which.
I set one up just Wednesday night for a lady, and there were 7 other wireless signals around her. It's when you live in town, that's why you want to make them secure so that your neighbors can't get into it. It's not that they're going to be malicious, but they're still using your signals and you don't want them to use that.
And that's the thing too, even if you want to share it with your neighbors, give them a security code. Just give them the code if you all want to, you know, share a connection, because then, you know, you're more likely, then it's more secure. So what we've done here is then connected to that. The only thing is if I go to a website, it's not really, it's going to give me an error saying that the website doesn't exist, because that has nothing more than just the power plugged into it. So what I'm going to do though is in this address bar, we're going to type something called an IP address. And basically, for at least this Belkin, the default IP address, which means the one that you get when you actually get there, is 192, and then you put a period, 168, and then put a period, then 2, then a period, and then 1.
And this is in the setup instructions of the wireless.
Right, and usually they ask you when you do this, some of them come with a disk. You just pop into your computer and it runs through and automatically does all the configurations. You just tell it what you want it to. This is just because A, I don't have the disk, and B, you know, this is what you can probably do later, so that way you don't have to reset the entire thing. So when I go to that, it's going to pull up this Belkin configuration here.
And what that's talking right to that wireless router. That's
right. So it's actually going in there. It has a little thing, and it's telling it these are the settings. Change them to this. So you can change LAN. What is a LAN? LAN.
LAN means your local area network. That's your wireless or your wired system at home.
Right. And if I go, usually, like it says here, the default is a blank passcode, so there's nothing. I can change what IP address this is, which, of course, if you change, you need to make note. It's not going to be the default anymore. So you can change that so it doesn't maybe clash with something else on your network. Usually, domain services that are built into the routers, into your things, they automatically dish that out. But sometimes if you're setting manual ones, then you have a problem.
And the only time you would really do this if you're really getting into your network settings, normally your internet provider, whether it be Delphia, Windstream, the software that comes with their equipment will do this automatically for you. You put it in and it puts the settings in for you. So.
Right. The main thing, what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how to change the name of the router and how to secure it. So what we want to do is go over here to where it says channel and SSID, and then of course it's going to ask for the passcode again because I don't have it. Now there's 11 different channels here, which means if you have a bunch of wireless all in the same area, you can set yours to one that's not going to interfere with somebody else's. Because if you're set to, say, 11 and they're set to 11, you will have interference problems, and both of you will be in trouble. The SSID is what it's called.
What it shows up as.
And I mean, here you can see it says Belkin 54G. I mean, it's not that great, but you can see it. And then it also here says wireless mode. I can do this as a G and a B, which means that it will go back to the old one and allow for that to work. Otherwise, I can set it to off, which means I can set this so it doesn't have any wireless whatsoever and is just using to dish out the computers that are connected to it. Or you can set it to B if all you have is B, or G, and you can also do that with N. But the only thing is if you set your wireless to N, it won't work with B and G.
No.
So